up this morning feeling like Andrew Nimhard is going to be the guy.
I mean, I'll tell you who I'd like to see be that guy, and that's Pascal Siakam. After the game he had the other day, and after he's kind of had an up and down playoffs, I would really like to get him going early in the game. Um, he kind of heated up there in the fourth quarter against the Knicks in Game One. I thought he was a big reason why we ended up winning that game. He kind of helped keep us in it, but I'd like to see him really step up, and I'd like to see us as a team make it a focal point to try to make sure he's involved earlier in the game, as opposed to him um, getting started really late in the game and not really having that momentum that he needs to have to play his style of basketball.
I can agree with that. I don't think he's been playing bad. Um, Last game he's getting guarded by OG, who's a really good defender, which that hurts him. And I mean, he's steady. He scores when he needs to, and he plays defense and stuff.
Yeah, I just think it's more or less he's been inconsistent. Um, I I think he's not been like you said, not necessarily a bad player, but just get back to that consistency that he's had as probably our most playoff experienced player.
Yeah,
Definitely need him to step up a little bit, I think.
I can agree with that.
Who do you think needs to be that player, Dad?
I think our bench has to hold steady tonight. Our and so that's not one player; it's multiple players. But we have to. We don't necessarily have to outscore the Knicks when the bench is on the floor. That would be helpful. That would be nice. But we have to at least maintain. We can't get in a hole like we did last time.
I would definitely say one of the most important things about our how our rotation works tonight is how really important it is to win those minutes when Jalen Brunson is on the bench. And we did not do that in game one at all. And that kind of hurt us and put us in a bind of having to claw back into the game for the most of the second half and then even in overtime. So I would definitely say that's a focal point. I'm sure Rick Carlisle has been saying that till he's blue in the face since the end of game one. So I'd expect him to try to throw something a little bit different at the rotational players that come in for the Knicks to really take advantage of those minutes.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they don't take a page out of the Cavs and the Bucks book in the games that they came back and won in their series where they came out and played zone, hard zone against us. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't try to do that against us to start the game.
Yeah, I mean we saw in that game three versus Cleveland where they pretty much erased Tyrese Halliburton, um, playing him, face guarding him at full court. I could see them definitely doing something like that. Probably, maybe throwing Mikal Bridges on him, and then when they get down the court, going into that zone.
They had Bridges on him last game. I just don't understand. Like, they're going to have to do something different because they were playing drop coverage against Tyrese, and that's like the worst thing you can do. If they're bringing Turner up to screen, they have Towns down, and he's playing drop coverage. That plays into our favor big time. So they're
Yep.
gonna
And well,
they're
and
gonna
they
they're gonna try to do something different there. I don't know what that is. Maybe they try to play zone, or they blitz him at the top of the screen and try something like that. But
well, and they really started the Knicks defense started that game, in my opinion, really bad by leaving Turner open with that mid-range shot. Like, I mean, he started off the game hitting like four of those, just absolutely wide open.
and that's because
So
Towns is playing drop coverage.
yeah,
So Halliburton's coming off that screen and he has open space. He's dribbling in. Towns steps over and Turner's wide open. That's how that game started.
yep. I would expect them not to do. I would expect them to try to take that away as well, and not let Miles Turner get off to a good start shooting.
And, and I know the NBA is so switch heavy now, but they switch way too much. Like Halliburton was getting Towns or Josh Hart or Brunson on him whenever he wanted to last game. So I would expect him to try not to switch as much and try going over screens this game too, because I mean we were tearing those mismatches apart, especially later in the game. We were taking full advantage of that.
Yeah, there's a couple times where Mitchell Robinson got switched on to Tyrese, and like Stan Van Gundy would be like, "Oh no, Tyrese isn't gonna like this, having this big guy, all those tall hands on him. I wonder how he's gonna approach this." And I think two of the three times that happened, he ended up creating like 6 feet of space and having a wide open jumper and hitting the shot. So I like those. I like when we're able to get those switches for sure.
We need him to come out being aggressive again this game, like he was last game.
Yep,
Uh,
I agree.
and sometimes he'll come out and he won't be aggressive, and that's like what happened in that Cleveland game where he had 4 points and like 5 assists for the game. He came out and they were playing him tough, and he just kind of sat back and let everybody else do things. We need him to be aggressive. I mean, I know he's a different player than Brunson is, but Brunson will get doubled and tripled, and they'll blitz him, they'll press him, and he's still going to get his shots, and he's going to be aggressive. I mean, we need Ty to take kind of a page out of that. We need him to not force things, but we need him to look for a shot as well as facilitating and stuff like that.
Yep, I think our offense benefits a ton from when he's able to get off to a hot start like that, and then they're having to throw different defensive sets at him to where it's going to get other guys open.
Not even just like him shooting outside. Like I don't this playoffs, he's been getting to the rim like crazy. He's
Yep.
been dunking and he's been getting by guys and finishing stuff.
Well, and a lot of times that he's done that, it's been because he'll get into the paint and then he'll kick out to like a corner to like a Nemhard or a Neesmith or even top of the key Turner. And I think him being able to do that and like have those eyes in the back of his head really just makes defenders not take his getting to the rim skill as serious as they should, and then he's able to just get there and make the shot. So, what are you
Hey,
thinking, Dad?
well, I was just going to bring up something else real quick. I did not see that clip of what's his name hitting using his. I'm trying to explain it. Oh my gosh, he took the other guy's hand and hit him with it. That was the craziest thing, man. Did you see that?
He does that all the
I,
time. He'll grab defenders, and SGA does the same thing. They'll grab
I did
those
not
players.
see that during the game, but that was terrible.
That's the same play where he ended up getting an offensive foul because he ran a shoulder through Neesmith. But yeah, he used Neesmith's arm and hit himself in the head with it, and then he flopped like he got hit by a 2x4.
Yep,
And then he
that was
got mad.
terrible.
And then he got mad. He didn't get the call, and they took his shoulder and lowered it into him, and it was an offensive foul.
Yep.
Which that ended
Yep.
up that ended up that ended up being a huge play because they ended up challenging that, and they lost it and didn't have a challenge the rest of the game.
Yep, that was a big play because they probably wanted to challenge at least a couple more times during that game at the end, and they weren't able to.
Yep. I think that gave Brunson his fourth foul, and then he ended up getting his fifth when he randomly decided to grab TJ McConnell on a layup.
Do you
So
do
that
you
might have
guys
been out of
do you guys
frustration.
think that teams should have an extra challenge in overtime?
No.
No, I
If it
do.
didn't absolutely, if it didn't absolutely slow the game down, I think that if you win a challenge, like I think right now, if you win a challenge, you get another one. But I think if they can figure out a way to speed it up, I think if you challenge a call and you win, then you should get another one. And if you challenge another call and you win, you should get another one.
I
And
just
every
I
time you
think
win, I think every time you win, you should get another one until you lose one. Because I think that's the only way the refereeing is going to get better. The downside of that is it's going to slow down the game a lot.
I
But
can't
I do
stand
think
it.
I do think it's an advantage to get the other team to use their challenge, and then like it hurt them later on in the game, and
Yeah.
like it did the other day.
I I do think the team should get one challenge in overtime, even if they're out of challenges.
I don't
But
know.
that's just my thoughts.
I hate it when they challenge something and then they go to commercial and they come back and they're still looking at the freaking thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I both know when we're watching the game, we know what the call is after like the second angle we see. They show us
Yeah,
one angle and they show us the second one, and we know it.
they could literally walk over to the commentators and ask them what it should be, and they could tell them.
They
So,
should just say, they should call me. They should call Jacob Blair and say, Jacob Blair, what's the call on the floor here? You're looking at the screen right there. And I would tell them in 5 seconds what the call was.
yep.
Well, the other one that took forever was the one where there was a loose ball and they called a foul on Pascal when he hit the ball out of OG's hands. And they took like 20 minutes looking at that.
They
And
did.
even Van Gundy was like, "Oh, if they're looking at this for a long time, they're going to say there's no clear and conclusive evidence to overturn it, and it's going to still be a foul." And then it ended up not being. So I don't know why it
If,
took forever to look at it.
if they
I
would
didn't
have
think it was
called
a foul at
that,
all.
if they would have called that a foul, I would have lost my mind.
Well,
Yeah.
they already have an outside official watching the game. They should be able to ask that official what the call should be because they're already watching it. Instead of them going over to the monitor and hitting replay, and then trying to figure out what time goes on the clock, they should have that outside official should have all that information. They should be able to walk over there. They should have an earpiece in. They should tell them what happened, and then go on.
I will say to touch on officiating, in these playoffs we're currently 9-2, and in both the games that we lost, we had the referee that we'll also be having tonight, and he didn't ref any of the games that we won.
Is this Kyle
So
Foster?
no, I can't think of his name. I think it might be. I think Mark Davis sounds right.
That guy calls a lot of fouls.
Yep, I can check real quick. I had it in my notes.
Well, I am about to have to go in Walmart, and I have no signal in Walmart, so
I mean, I don't know how much more we have to say.
I can probably just leave the phone in here if I need to, because I don't know. I'm not sure how this works. If I drop off, it might close the whole thing down. So
it probably will.
That's what I assumed.
We can finish up quick. Let's finish up 2 minutes here. Give our predictions, and then we can get off.
It is Mark Davis. That's who I was talking about. But I'll go ahead and go first with the predictions. I kind of gave it in the last podcast when it was just me and Dad finishing up. But I kind of said in that first game one preview that I thought we were going to take one and lose one. But because of the fashion we won game one, I have a lot of confidence in winning tonight's game because I don't really count that as like we beat them and they have the script on us now, so then they're going to beat us. I think that they don't know what to plan for because our win was so miraculous. So I predict a win tonight, and I predict to win by more than 10 points.
Dad?
I think it's going to be another nail-biter. Yeah, I think the Pacers win by 3.
Man, it's tough. I think we either win a close game or we get blown out tonight.
Which one is it?
I'm going to predict a win, close win, but I think there's a chance we get blown out. I think we'll know in the first quarter how the game's being officiated. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Neesmith and Nimhard don't have 2 fouls in, like, the first 5 minutes of the game. So how the game's being officiated will dictate that. If Brunson has 15 free throw attempts tonight, I mean, that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But I'm going to predict a close win.
Well, I think he had 14 attempts in the last game. So
yeah, I know, but they were spread out. I'm saying that if they call fouls early and we're in foul trouble, it's going to be tough to win.
yeah.
I think if that's going to happen for us to win tonight, we really need some really solid Ben Shepherd minutes, and I wouldn't even mind seeing some Jarris Walker minutes to see what he can do on defense as well.
If that happens, I think we just start hacking the crap up. Every time Mitchell Robinson's in the game, we just start hacking him. Bring in freaking back the third string center, bring in every third string player we have and just start hacking him. Because they're going to start calling fouls for Brunson, all the craziness.
Well, I think we all got a little bit of different opinion. You and Dad agreeing a little bit more, but you thinking there's a chance for a blowout. Like I said, I have a lot of confidence in tonight's game, so we'll see where that goes. But it's been a good, quick episode. We'll try to be back soon to recap tonight's game. Not sure when that's going to be, but thanks everybody who was able to watch. And if you come across our videos, please comment, like, share, whatever you think. Tell us what you think. If you don't like something we did, tell us. We can get better at doing this. And we hope you guys all have a good day and go Pacers.
Go Pacers. Peace out.
What is that?
I'm trying.
I don't know, but we're still live.
It's supposed to be the end sequence. Come on, jabroni.
Come
All right, I guess
on.
no end sequence since it's not going to play. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.